From New York City, it's Wendy Williams. Today, Wendy's Hot Talk panel, Siggy, Don Lemon, and Jane Velez-Mitchell are back to tackle today's biggest stories. Plus, Wendy's got the scoop on the big Grammy performances Sunday night, from Beyonce to Jay-Z. And all the latest juicy Hot Topics. Now, here's Wendy.
Thank you. You look beautiful. My co-host. How you doing? I'm doing okay today. You know, I've got great hot topics prepared for you. A shocking update on Tori and Dean. Oh. Yeah, well. And have you heard who's performing at the Grammys on Sunday? I'm psyched to tell you. And I've got an update on the Justin Bieber arrest. Let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. I made an appearance on The View, and yeah, you all didn't hear because you were still hooting and hollering. Yesterday, I made an appearance on The View, and the purpose of me being there was they invited me to give a follow-up on my Monday, I guess, meltdown when I talked about my 13-year-old son, Kevin, not liking me. Well, you know I'm a crier, so maybe if I didn't cry, this story wouldn't have, you know, like gotten, you know, as big as it did. But I'm a Cancer, and I'm emotional. Yeah. And that's the best I can say. But I had a terrific time on the show. Thank you so much, Barbara and the ladies. And I was reading on my Facebook page, some of you thought that Whoopi was pissed at me. No, she wasn't pissed at me. Whoopi gave me big hugs and big love. And Whoopi, I'm sorry I had to leave right away because I had to come back here to take care of some business at the studio. She invited me upstairs to chat. I love Whoopi. Whoopi loves me. Anyway, so there are more details about this Justin Bieber arrest. And I have a mugshot picture, all right? Yeah, He looks stoned out of his mind, doesn't he? All glassy-eyed. Anyway, this was at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, he was drag racing. I talked to you about this yesterday. So there's the front mugshot. I don't like that he's smiling. Don't you think that smiling is like a thumbation to the law? Like, why would you smile? I hope they get him. I hope they do something to him for this. You know, he was DUIing, drag racing. He was drag racing in Florida, yeah. DUI, 4 o'clock in the morning, he left the club. He reportedly admitted, this is the update, that he'd been smoking weed and taking pills. Now, I don't know what kind of pills, but they're all bad. So smoking weed and taking pills. And according to TMZ, here's the pièce de résistance. His daddy, Jeremy, was present during the drag race. Allegedly, Daddy, who's 38 years old, was one of the people who helped block off the street so that his son could drag race after the club at 4 o'clock in the morning. So in other words, this kid is as bad off as Lindsay Lohan. Yes. You know, with parents that you party with and parents that are permissive. And I don't really see anything good happening out of this situation instead of, you know, like, because what I was talking with you about yesterday, and a lot of the audience members agreed, you know, if you have parents that you're at least afraid of, then you'll at least do your best to not shame them, you know? And I think the fear of your parents, a kid should never grow out of. I mean, my parents scare me now, and I'm grown. And And, you know, Justin's not doing anything that we all weren't doing at 19. I don't know about you. I had my first drink way before I was 21, you know? Well, so did you. Oh, come on. Who are you people? You know and I know. You know what you were doing when you were 19 years old. This kid did not invent that. We invented it. But we just didn't let our parents see and know and whatnot. This stupid kid. So I don't know what's going to happen with the DUI. Is that jail time or is that you lose your license for a couple of years? You lose your license. Well, what about the drag racing? What about the underage drinking? The father allegedly was in the club, which means Jeremy was there smelling the chief. Jeremy was there seeing his son toss it back. Jeremy was there blocking off the street. And he's probably raised the flag and dropped it. You know how they do it? I mean, and the mother, Patty, is no better. I told you, Patty wrote a book talking about, you know, her back in the day, twerk days. Patty's a fan more than a mother of her son. You know, Patty had him when she was 15. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying, you know, I guess she's getting a lot out of her system now. You know, you gotta figure she's still in her 30s too. Oh, the Bieber family is a mess, all three of them. I'll follow the story for you. Let's move along. Poor Tori Spelling. You know, I don't know what she's going to do, but, you know, if it's right for Tori, it's right for me. I really do like her. I feel bad telling you this story, but it's my duty. You know, I'm in the purple chair. It's hot topics. Everybody's talking about them, so we have to talk. All right, so Tori Spelling and her husband, Dean McDermott, have been dealing with their cheating rumors since the holidays. According to many, she's been dealing with them allegedly all through their marriage. But the most recent one was during the holidays when he was caught with some woman in Canada, and then the woman got on the blogger and started twitting and tweeting about it. Now Dean has entered rehab. Well, People magazine is saying that Dean takes full responsibility, this is from Dean, for my actions and have voluntarily checked myself into a treatment center to address some health and personal issues. I'm grateful to be getting the help, blah, blah, blah. He wants to be the best husband and father that he can possibly be. Well, that's admirable, but what kind of rehab is this? Let me guess, sex rehab? Do you believe in sex addiction? Clap if you do. Okay. But the majority, including me, don't. I think that that's like a weak excuse that people use when they've been caught out there, you know? The problem with Tori and Dean is the very beginning of their relationship. I've explained it, but I'll continue to explain it in case you don't know. They met on the set of a movie that they were doing together. He was married with one child, and Tori was married with no children. And they got romantical behind their spouse's back, divorced the spouses, and this is the foundation for which the Tori and Dean union sits on. And you know, if you're like me, I believe how you get him is how you lose him. And furthermore, are you ready for this last little piece? Dean and his ex-wife, who have, you know, the one son, at the time that the affair started, they were in the process of adopting a baby. And she went through with the adoption, but he still bounced. Like Sandra Bullock and Jesse James. Isn't that shady? And cold-hearted? Low down and no good? Tori, it's time to call a divorce lawyer. The Grammys are on Sunday. Are you going to be watching? I know. Now, the Grammys are my favorite award show. generally speaking. You know, I always watch the red carpets and stuff like that. My producers here always try to encourage me to watch award shows so I can talk about it on Monday, but I can't do what's not organically me. You know, I like the Oscars red carpet, I don't watch the Oscars. You know, you understand what I'm saying? And I like being honest with you all because I can't keep up on lying. I'm not a liar. So whenever I talk about award shows, and I always tell you this, it's because my producers, they DVR the highlights and then force me to watch them in the morning when I'm getting my makeup done. So when I come out here, I know what I'm talking about from award shows, but it's because I watched it from my producers making me, but not from me actually watching because I care. However, when it comes to the Grammys, I really enjoy watching. I like watching the red carpet, and I like watching all the performances. So I'll be there watching on Sunday with you. LL Cool J is hosting for the 3rd consecutive year. He was not a bad host last year. He hasn't been a horrible host, you know, he's a little PC. I like somebody that has a better funny bone hosting my award shows, somebody who's not so inside Hollywood and politically correct, but he'll do. Katy Perry and Taylor Swift are performing. I like this. I'll be watching. But here's the real deal. It's also confirmed that Jay-Z and Beyonce are performing. I know. Hopefully she'll wear this dress because it's a good dress and deserves to be seen again. It's a good one. But listen, here's the deal. I don't know whether they're performing together or whether they're performing separately. I'll tell you how I want to see them perform. First of all, I'm not a huge fan of the Drunken Love song. I'm sorry, it doesn't make me drop it like it's hot. Have I ever told you that? I'm not really a big fan of slow music or medium tempo music. I like that music that makes me feel young and jerky. So if they do Crazy in Love, I need to see that. Okay, they can do Drunken Love as long as they bounce into Crazy in Love and he smacks her in the behind. And they do it. I swear to you, I had a dream. All right, well, I do think that they're going to perform together. It's not confirmed, but I swear to you, I had a dream 2 nights ago that I just finished doing the show and went to a party right after. And I was in the stairwell waiting to get into the party. And there's Jay-Z standing right here, like we're shoulder to shoulder. I say, hey, what's up? For some reason in my dream, you know, I dropped my regular speak and tried to turn cool. Hey, what's up? And he said, you know what's up. I said, well, yo, like I was talking all yo to him. I was like, well, yo, I'm really happy that you and B, I never call her B in my real life. I'm really happy that you and B are gonna be performing together at the Grammys. He said it was supposed to be a surprise, and you said it on your Hot Topics. And he was mad, and then he walked away. But because I had that dream, I know that they're gonna be performing together. I hope so. All right, last year this time, Anne Hathaway was everywhere, remember? Yeah. We haven't seen her in a long time, have we? Somebody said good. Well, you know, she won the Oscar for Les Mis and became one of the most talked about people on the planet and one of the most disliked actresses in Hollywood. And a lot of people were disliking her because all of a sudden she developed this highbrow way of being highbrow. And everybody's like, who is this girl? Will you bring Anne Hathaway back? Well, she got the message and she told the Huffington Post that she realized that people needed a break from her. So she went away. She took some time off. But she's back because she was recently at the Cannes Film Festival. So she's at the where? Sundance. Sundance Film Festival. I'll tell you what though, I could be wrong, but Jennifer Lawrence seems to be kind of suffering that same thing. Like she's everywhere now and always talking about somebody. I don't know. Well, we'll be watching Jennifer Lawrence. You're on a slippery slope. Nice dress, though. Let me see that dress. Let me see that dress. Oh, that's a good dress for a flatsy-tatsy. Like, I can't wear a strapless dress. Do you know what I'm saying? A wardrobe malfunction, boom. Oh, that's a nice dress, Jennifer Lawrence. So, Patti LaBelle is a legend. And Patti LaBelle has some really strong words for today's divas. And here's what she says. Diva is a word that I wouldn't want to call myself because it's so loosely used. It's not cute anymore because all these little heifers who can't sing are called divas. I agree. I agree. And I think it might be my generation that started ruining the word. You know, a diva used to be like, you know, an opera diva. You know, a diva is something, the way she uses it, Patti, is something that you want to be. It's the highest peak on the mountain. It's, you know, everything that embodies grace and elegance and civility. But my generation uses the word diva, and the generations behind me, we mean it as something bad. Like, you know, if a woman's a diva, she's a B. It's like, I've been called talk show diva. I am not a diva. Whatever, Suzanne. She said, no. No, but like I don't consider that flattering, a talk show diva, or, you know, the front row divas. That's not flattering. That's like the B word. You know, we got it twisted. So, Patti, I'm with you. You know what? That's why we call diva fans, because these R&B heifers always want a damn fan on them when they are singing. Fans look so beautiful on these divas who want all of the toilet seats changed and the room painted in white and don't look at me in the eye. That's B word diva. I agree with you, Miss Patti. Clap, clap, clap. Now, I didn't mean you guys clap, clap, clap. I meant I was clapping for Patti. Anyway, all right, but a real diva is an opera singer, like I was saying, and surprisingly, there will be an opera singer performing the national anthem at the Super Bowl. I say, lukewarm response. You are my people. I don't like the idea either. I know an opera singer can really throw down and sing the song, but I don't know who Renee Fleming is. Call me uncouth, but she is a famous soprano. I'm sure she's a lovely woman, but I would rather have Alicia Keys, who did it last year, or Christina Aguilera, who threw down the year before. All right, then call up Celine Dion. Like, I want somebody who I listen to on the radio, somebody from pop culture to do the, not an opera singer. Well, we always have halftime. Who's performing? Bruno Mars? He's a good one. He's a good one. No disrespect, Miss Fleming. It's just that we don't want to see you at the Super Bowl. We'd rather go see you at the opera. Yeah. Thank you. Have you heard this story about Jonah Hill, where he took a low salary to be in The Wolf of Wall Street? I admire him for that. You know, sometimes you've got to take one for the team in order to get ahead. Now, here's the story. So he was talking to Howard Stern, and he said that he only made $60,000 for filming The Wolf of Wall Street. Well, there's a union, and the lowest price, that's the starting salary, in the union, $60,000. Then you negotiate up. So somebody like Angelina Jolie is now making $15 million a movie or whatever. But there's the base price for a movie, $60,000, and that's what he accepted. Do you know why he accepted the small paycheck? Because he wanted so badly to work with the director, Martin Scorsese. And that was a good move because now he's nominated for an Oscar I know, so smart. Now, mind you, I think that Jonah, he's been here before, as I can recall, he grew up, I think, in some sort of privilege. He's an LA kid. In other words, unlike the rest of us, it's no skin off his back to take the low ball amount because, his mommy and daddy, I guess, do something. He dated, Dustin Hoffman's daughter? Whose daughter? Dustin Hoffman's daughter when he was younger, and I guess it's like a rich kid who's now a rich man and $60,000, he can take the pay cut. But the moral of the story is, good for you and the Oscar nomination. Yeah, good for you, Jonah. Good for you. 50 Shades of Grey update. 50 Shades of Grey update. Come close. Come close. The movie has already started filming. Reportedly, it's not gonna be nearly as raunchy as the books. I know. She said, what's the point? Exactly. 75% of all 3 books was about the sex, which turned me off halfway through the first one. I perused and cliff noted the other ones because I was just so tired of it. And then the girl was so stupid. Do you remember how stupid she was in the, just so stupid, going for a job interview. Remember she tripped over Christian Grey's rug in the office and fell? Always doing something stupid. Not you, Dakota. I'm talking about the character that you play. Anyway, one of the film's producers is already talking and said that the film's gonna focus more on the young love story than the explicit sex. Well, don't act highbrow, because you know, like me, although you're complaining, you're still gonna go see it, right? You just wanna see. Doesn't mean we won't walk out though, right? Well, I don't know, I think they need to, by the way, they said most of the sex scenes are already filmed. I don't care much about the love story. I care about the red room and, you know, the stupid sex. Keep the claps going. We have more great show for you. Our Hot Talk panel is here to break down the juiciest headlines of the week. But up next, everybody, we hit the streets to hear what Wendy watchers have to say about some of our favorite celebrities. Don't go far. I know, that Wendy, she's so opinionated. Well, so are you. Wait till you hear what some of you have to say in our new edition of Street Talk. Take a look. Khloe Kardashian is getting a divorce. Who should be her celebrity rebound?
I think Khloe Kardashian should celebrity rebound with Kevin Hart because he's tiny like a baby, and we all know that Khloe Kardashian loves babies. So it's like a 2-for-1, a baby and a man. A man baby. Hello.
Khloe Kardashian's celebrity rebound after her divorce should be Dennis Rodman because everyone deserves to go a little crazy after they get divorced.
Khloe, girl, you should definitely rebound with Shamar Moore. He's tall, dark, handsome, just like you like, and them abs won't hurt.
Which Real Housewife do you think should be replaced?
The Real Housewife that needs to be replaced is Portia from Atlanta Housewives. She needs to go to school and get a good education.
I'd replace Camille Grammer with a younger woman, just like her husband did. Wait, they've already replaced her?
It should be Kim from Beverly Hills because now that she's on the wagon, she's not interesting anymore. Like, that's great, you're on the wagon, Kim, but you're boring.
If I could replace a Real Housewife, I'd probably replace Brandy Glanville. She's the one that said that black people can't swim. If she's ever seen me in a pool, I could do 17 laps.
If you were making your own hot guy calendar, which celebrity would you choose?
If I was making my own hot guy calendar, I'd choose Michael Ealy because I love his eyes. I can stare at them all night long.
If I were making a hot guy calendar, I would put in Zac Efron. In fact, his hair could have its own month.
It has to be Kellen Lutz. He was just featured in Hercules. His body is beautiful, and I don't think any woman, any age, would have a problem looking at him every single day of the year.
Ooh, Hercules.
Denzel Washington because he is hot. I love him.
I would choose 3 hot guys, okay? So it would be Leonardo DiCaprio, Mario Lopez, and Idris Elba, and they would all be jumping rope naked.
Love it. The streets are always talking and we're always listening. Stay here because up next our Hot Talk panel is going to discuss the week's hottest stories. Welcome back. It's time to discuss the week's hottest topics in our latest edition of Hot Talk. Joining me, our old friend from HLN, Jane Velez-Mitchell. And relationship expert and contributing editor at Marie Claire magazine, Siggy Flicker. And from the CNN newsroom, give it up for Don Lemon. How you doing?
Wendy?
Okay, look, people are outraged over this new show on the Esquire channel. It's called Friday Night Tykes. Just take a look and then we'll discuss.
This is the Texas Youth Football Association, one of the elite football leagues for kids in America. And the 8- and 9-year-old rookie division in San Antonio features the best of the best.
Hey, give me that soft crap.
There should be no reason why y'all don't make other teams cry. I could care less if they cry. I don't care how much pain you're in. You don't quit.
You guys forget that they are babies.
If that kid comes across, I want you to put it in his helmet. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I don't care if you don't get up. Let's go.
Yeah! He said, I don't care if you don't get up. If you notice, they were cracking helmets. They don't even allow that in the real NFL. You know, so what do you think, Siggy?
I think that I'm not going to be one watching the show. And I want to ask these parents who are putting their 8- and 9-year-olds at risk for head concussions, brain injury. I mean, we've got the adults getting brain injuries and head concussions. Why would you put you want to be famous that bad to be on a reality show, to put your 8- and 9-year-old at risk? Shame on you.
Oh, you're right. You're right then for the parents. Why put your kids in football if you're going to be worried about? They're playing football. They're not playing tiddlywinks. They're out there. They're supposed to be hitting each other.
Listen, Don, these coaches have psychological problems. I tell them, look in the mirror, go to a gym, and go to a shrink because you're working your issues out on these children.
That's why they're number one. It's because of the coaches that are telling them to do that. That's why those kids are number one in the league.
I'm not blaming the coaches. I'm blaming the parents because as a parent, you can either put your kid on a team or take your kid off the team. This happens to be one of the show just started last week on January 14th. It's a Tuesday night at 9 o'clock on the Esquire channel. I watch it with my son to cringe over things that, first of all, he doesn't play football, and that's exactly the reason why, all the banging around and the concussions. I don't want him to play. No, I don't feel for the parents or the kids in this particular case because there's a choice, and it's cringe-worthy TV, but I can't look away. I can't.
Yeah, but the people with the problem are the adults, and these guys are out of shape. Okay, they're out of shape and they're angry, and they're telling these kids.
But it's not the coach's fault; it's the parents.
I'm so tired of people coddling kids. I understand it's the parents who put them in there. But if you're going to put them in there, you put them in there to play, not to be wussies.
But what playing? Playing there's a balance.
Playing is one thing.
I want you to pound that helmet, and I don't want that kid getting up.
Dance mom
he said
worse than that. That dance mom is worse than that.
And you know
At
what?
least those kids can go stressing after the girls can't do it because they won't be able to fit in their uniforms. They can go stress eat afterwards at least.
I just feel like this is not a normal football team. This is the one that produces people that play in the NFL. These kids are too young to be banging helmets and being talked to like that and sweating, but I can't not watch this show.
I'd say more of it.
So good. All right, speaking of football, the Seattle Seahawks cornerback, Richard Sherman. You know a bit about this story. You know, he made headlines last week when he went crazy in a post-game interview. Right after the game, he took to Twitter, or people took to Twitter and called him everything in the book, including a thug, which he had an issue with being called a thug. Just take a look.
The only reason it bothers me is because it seems like it's the accepted way of calling somebody the N-word nowadays. You know, it's like everybody else said the N-word, and then they say thug, and they're like, oh, that's fine. And that's where it's kind of, you know, it kind of takes me aback, and it's kind of disappointing because they know what's the definition of a thug, really.
You know what? This guy graduated at the top of his class from Stanford. He was raised in Compton. He was raised from the ashes, I guess, you know, whatever. He knows what a real thug is, and I guess that's why he takes issue with it. But I don't think that the word thug is the new word for an N-word. If you're gonna call somebody the N-word, you're just gonna call it. Especially, you know, when you can be an internet gangster and say what you want.
I think I gotta jump in here. I think for him, he is absolutely right. I think that's what people are calling him because here's why I say it. Hockey players clobber each other, they kill each other, there's blood everywhere. You never hear anyone calling a hockey player a thug. John McEnroe on the court every single match would get in the ref's face and curse the ref out. And guess what? His managers would tell him, do it over again because you're making a name for himself. Nobody ever called him a thug. And I think the people who are calling him a thug, in essence, are calling him the N-word without saying the N-word.
Wait, Jane, what? Look, it is a code word. It is a code word. The word thug was used hundreds of times after he had his little outburst, and those were used by commentators directed at him. He didn't hit anybody, he didn't kick anybody in the you-know-what. But I will say this, why are you playing the victim, dude, when you're going to the Super Bowl?
But I, as a white woman, do not affiliate the word thug with the N-word.
Me neither.
A thug
Tony
to me-
Soprano is a thug.
Lots of people use thug. Lots of ethnicities use thug.
Right.
But I think in his particular case, that's what people are calling him. Because they called him worse things than a thug. They called him the N-word. They called him monkey. They called him all sorts of things. Because the guy hopped up on adrenaline right after he made the biggest play of the game against his arch nemesis. He's going to the Super Bowl, and you stick a camera in his face, and he's going to go, "Yeah, I'm going to kick your butt." Don't ever. That's what do you expect him to
because
do?
when Aaron Andrews interviewed him, he was a scary person going, "You don't do that. You don't."
Scary.
I don't know why
He
he
was not scary.
I think
was just
his
hyped
actions were scary, and here's why. A couple of months before, the person who he
was
was
he
mad at
scary to?
was snubbed him, and it was a high. He was playing the game. The adrenaline was high. He was in the right. Richard Sherman didn't do anything wrong, but people looked at the TV and went, "Why is this dude
I still don't
freaking
equate
out?"
thug as the N-word. I mean, there's like listen to this. You know, he might not like thug, but I don't like baby mama. Right. You know, you don't call a woman a baby mama. When you think of a baby mama, it connotates something that to me is you're trying to say something negative.
But Wendy,
Yeah,
the same
but I
people
say
who are,
baby daddy is okay.
No,
Go
baby
for it.
daddy is not
But
okay
Wendy,
either.
listen to this. The same people who are calling him thug call hockey players who do worse behavior enforcers. So you need to think about what you're saying and why you're saying that.
Was that a read?
No. I'm just saying.
That's why I love the Hot Talk panel, and let's talk about Juan Pablo, the star of The Bachelor. All right, he made news this week when he made an anti-gay comment when asked if there should be a gay bachelor, and we talked about it on Hot Topics. He wasn't suspended by ABC, which prompted people to ask, why does The Bachelor get a pass, but Duck Dynasty's Phil Robertson didn't? He was suspended also. Although, how can you suspend somebody for a couple of episodes when the show is not even on right now? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I don't think that the suspension was
Look,
really anything
let
much.
me say this. As a Latina, I was thrilled. Wow, the first Latino bachelor, yay! But as a lesbian, I was like, what the hell? Dude, and not only that, because I speak Spanish, he says, well, I had a language problem with the word pervert. You know, in Spanish, perverted is pervertido. Hello?
And here's this guy who's talking about this, and he's on a show where he's being paid to be with women. Basically, it's like, you know, pimps and hookers. He's getting paid, and he has the nerve to judge gay people. I took more offense to him because he's a young guy, and he should know better than I did
That's
to
what
the
I
Duck
said. I
Dynasty
think
people.
that they gave Phil a pass, or people gave Phil kind of a pass, because Phil is an older man. He's from the South. I love you people, but in the South. But you know, there's like a stereotype, that little redneck thing. You know, thing. He lives in a swamp, and he's very, very religious. So it's not shocking to hear him say something like that. While it doesn't make him necessarily very likable, Phil. You know.
Well,
but
I was shocked to hear him equate gay sex with animals, and I condemn it. Shame on you. I don't care what kind of beard you have.
But getting back, I think
we're living in the United States of America, and everybody's entitled to their own
No,
opinion.
they're not.
Wait,
Not
hold on.
I'm sorry.
However, his opinion, in my opinion, is ignorant. You can't help somebody if they're ignorant. He's discriminating against sex, religion, race, sexual orientation. He's an ignorant man, and by the way, he is suffering right now.
So you have
He's
freedom
suffering.
to say whatever you want, and you have freedom to respond to that. And as my dad used to say, freedom isn't shouting fire in a crowded movie theater.
And he did not get suspended because the show is already taped. So what are they going to do?
Yeah, but we're talking about The Bachelor. And also, he didn't get suspended because The Bachelor is a cash cow for ABC, and unfortunately, money drives business.
But also, we're not talking about it because he's hot. Good-looking people and hot people get away with a lot of things that ugly people don't. I'm just saying.
He's getting away with it, and he should have been fined.
A lot of the gays are like, well,
up next,
he's kind of
everybody,
hot.
President Obama made some controversial comments about weed. We'll talk about it next. Welcome back. I got the Hot Talk panel here. Okay, so President Obama shocked some people when he talked about the subject of legalizing marijuana. He told a reporter that smoking pot is no more dangerous than drinking alcohol.
Yay!
Siggy?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first time that I agree with my president. Thank you.
The first time?
6 of one, half a dozen of another. What's the difference?
Yes.
Somebody's smoking pot, they shouldn't be behind the wheel endangering their lives or the lives of another. If somebody's drunk, they should. It's a state. What are we gonna dissect? Which one is more dangerous? Who cares? They're both bad.
People smoking
Same
pot
thing.
don't want to get behind the wheel anyway. They just want
Right.
to sit on the couch and eat a cheeseburger. Come on,
And
don't
potatoes.
you think? And I think the president is actually right. He didn't condone smoking
Right.
pot, even though he has admitted smoking pot in his youth. He didn't condone it. He said, I wouldn't tell my kids to do it, but it's no more dangerous for you than alcohol. And the studies show that's true
First
as
of
well.
all, I think we got to give him props for admitting he smoked pot because we know that pretty much everybody has smoked pot. Anybody here who hasn't smoked pot, please raise your hand. Oh, there's one.
Please.
Oh, there's a couple of people. But
Oh,
I
my
mean,
God.
really, I will say
Good
this.
one.
I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I'm happy to say I'm 18 years sober, hopefully 19 by April. And I know for a fact that alcohol is dangerous.
Way more dangerous than pot.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
okay?
Wait.
You can get turned up and out on alcohol.
Yeah.
Weed only takes you to a certain point, and then you just level off. You keep
Absolutely.
smoking the same thing. But here's my issue. I don't want to hear this coming out of the president's mouth. This is the same man who was doing the Dougie at the White House. He smokes weed, he does the Dougie.
But I would like to know that my president is a normal person and that he's tried those things. So at least if he is forming some sort of opinion about policy,
he
he
smoked bad
knows.
weed if he's equating it with the turn up of alcohol.
No,
Alcohol
he's
is
saying
way
it's
worse.
no worse for you than alcohol. That's
Yeah.
what he's saying. And I
Yeah,
think
alcohol's
the
way
studies
worse.
show that.
Yeah,
and
you're
if you ask anyone, 70% of people or more believe that alcohol is worse for you, and 55% of the American public believe that marijuana should be legalized recreationally.
And the most important thing is that they're arresting the poor minority kids for smoking pot. And the
4
rich
times
potheads
more.
don't get arrested. We're criminalizing an entire segment of our population for doing what other people do.
So if we just legalize it and take it all away.
Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to get this story in. There's this restaurant owner in Shandong province, in the Shandong province of China, and he was asked to remove 2 naked 50-foot statues of Buddha off the roof of his restaurant because the locals are offended. Now look at this picture, and the question to my panel is, would you eat at this restaurant? All right, can I just say, and then I'm gonna come to you, Jane. I would eat at this restaurant, I would eat here, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because first of all, I didn't find anything distasteful. I find that humorous. And if a restaurant owner is going to spend that much money on outside artwork, then you can only imagine that the dining area is gorgeous and that they have the best chef in town. I would eat there, and I'm not offended. Siggy?
I would definitely do takeout. That's all I'm
Take it.
saying.
From that restaurant?
Yeah, I'm not staying around. I'm doing
Okay.
takeout.
This was not in the United States of America. Come on, Buddha is a religion followed by over 300 million
Yes.
people. It's to awaken. You want to awaken me? Show me a picture of Buddha. I don't want to see the crack of his butt with the cellulite and the back fat.
Come on, I would eat there
No,
because
listen,
I would eat there because the food is really good. Anything
Yes.
that gives you an ass that big, the food has to be really
Gotta
good.
be that good.
And he's lucky he's not in LA because he would have no customers because no one wants a badonk like that out in LA.
Thank you, panelists. For more information on them, you can go to wendyshow.com. Up next, it's time for Ask Wendy. Funny. We're back, and it's time for Ask Wendy. Have a seat, everybody, but you. How you doing?
How you doing? Hi, Wendy. My name is Ravik. How you doing?
Hi, Ravik.
My 21-year-old daughter wants to bring her boyfriend on our family vacation in July, and they want to share a room together. I don't know how I feel about it, but my husband's totally against it. What do you think I should do?
Who's the family and your family's going on vacation?
Myself, my husband, our 3 children, my sister, and my nephew.
It's a beautiful thing. Not only don't I want them in the room, I don't want him on the vacation.
Either.
This is a family vacation. Now, how long are you gonna be gone? A week?
A week.
Okay. This is a family vacation. You have him wait for you on the other side of the week. I'm with your husband. You know, have you already paid?
Well, we've paid, but he hasn't.
Yeah, no, because he's not going. Okay? He's not going. Good luck.
Thank you.
How you doing?
How you doing, Wendy? My name is Trish. I was seeing a guy for 2 years, and we've been out of contact for about 2 years, and we've been
You were seeing him for 2 years, and
Yeah.
you broke up about 2 years ago.
right.
Okay.
And like no contact whatsoever.
Okay.
And recently we've been talking via email, and
How's recent?
About a week ago, and like every day since last week.
Okay.
Okay, like
Who contacted who first?
I reached out to him just
Okay.
to say hi.
Okay.
I just said hi.
Okay. And then what happened?
And he has a girlfriend. But you know, it's kind of like flirtatious. I don't say anything. Come on, guys.
Okay,
Get to
Tori.
it. So my thing is like Trish.
No, I'm thinking like the Tori spelling thing. Remember, how you get him is how you keep him.
I understand. No. I was with them before. Okay, get it. Okay, I was with them before.
You had a 2-year window, and if you get in contact with him and you find out that he has a girl, no, this is not good. Because he's not going to dump his girlfriend. You know what he's going to do? He's going to tell you that he dumped the girlfriend. He's going to see you behind her back. You know how men are. How old are you?
32.
Yeah, you know how men are by now. Wow, that's good moisturizer. I would have pegged you for 22.
Caribbean. That's
Yes,
right.
leave him alone.
Yeah, but
Leave him alone and stop emailing him. You're a woman and you will eventually turn soft and pink like all of us. And you can't just talk to a man that you're crushing on without taking it all the way.
he's the one who got away. I thought like if you really love him, you gotta fight for him.
You didn't fight for 2 years. Leave him alone.
All right.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Up next, everybody, we're gonna reveal our audience eye candy of the day. Don't go far. This is Diana Aguilera, like Christina Aguilera, and she's my audience eye candy of the day. You know what I love? I love your unusual blouse. I love your necklace and your jeans and your boots. So talk about your outfit.
Thank you for picking me. I got these for $30 at Zara. I got these leather accent pants for $20 at H&M, and Aldo $200.
And I love your necklace. It's all the rage for girls to be wearing the Cuban links close to the neck like that. Very nice.
Thanks.
Diana, here's your diva fan, and we will be right back. Thank my guests today, and of course my fabulous co-host, my studio audience. On Monday, music superstar Meatloaf is going to be here, and we'll also break down the highlights from Sunday night's Grammy Awards, including the fashionable red carpet. I love you for watching today. Have a safe weekend, and I'll see you next time on Wendy. Bye.